Hi there, I'm gonna give a quick little review of my Fisher Paykel new Induction 36-inch stove because I didn't find anything that I loved online that was honest about it. So I had to switch to induction from gas. It was terrifying, but I actually really love it. Let me just point out some things about the oven. The oven is bigger than described online. I think that's because they mix reviews between the 30-inch and the 36. This rack is 28 inches wide and about 16 deep. And it's a very heavy rack. You can pull it all the way out. I put a big, heavy Le Creuset on it last night to make something, and it was like super nice to just pull it out and lift it up instead of having to reach all the way in there to get that heavy pan. And then there's, of course, two they can move among many racks. So that's really, really nice, those big, heavy racks. And the oven light comes on automatically when you turn on the oven. I also really like that the little dial tells you in digitally where you are with temperature and with like your oven setting, which is nice. And the, oh God, I made a salmon on this Aero broil. It was incredible last night. You can hear the oven coming on. It vents out of here, which, and there's like a space in the middle where it doesn't. So when I stand at it, it really vents out of the sides. For me, that's kind of great. I don't have a big oven hood. I have a fan from the 1950s, which just is what it is, but it works really well. It just vents right out the top. Okay, so that's the oven. It has an actual warming drawer, which has various settings from high to low. I think it goes up to maybe 250. Check the manual. I could be wrong on that. Warming drawer, very big, mirrored. Hi. Mirrored at the bottom. I keep this rack, this very large roasting pan. It's awesome. You could probably fit a massive turkey on this thing, or 2 roasts or whatever. That comes with the stove. And when I'll warm things, which I will use a lot, I'll just take that pan out. Let's see. So the functions of the oven are really great. It has a auto cook that can turn the oven on later or off later. It also has a timer, which is not the auto cook. That doesn't shut the oven on or off, but the auto cook does. And you could just kind of scroll through things as you go, and you can see there's auto cook. You can set it for a later time. You can turn all of the things like the sounds on and off if you want, and lock it and all that stuff. So that's nice. I like this analog clock. It reminds me of my old stove, but you can put it digitally. And then you've got induction. Well, let's start with the surface. So this has 5 zones, like kind of like a normal, I guess, stove would, but these are 2 different squares that you can pair together, which I'll show you in a second. This is one very large. It's larger than a kind of typical saucepan. It's hard to see that it is, but it is. And then there's another pairing zone here. It has great, sorry if I'm repeating this, but it has pretty good signals here about which burner you're turning on, and also along this, which is I didn't expect, and I really like that you can kind of see which burner is going on here. One thing I will note, I did ding this yesterday. It's my third day cooking on it, and I guess I hit it with a pan. You can see the ding, so that is, I think, going to be one of the only faults that I might bring up with the unit so far. It's absolutely beautiful. I have white and chrome version of it. There's many different versions of it. Okay, so let's talk about induction. I think the first thing I would like to do is do a little test for you to show you that how fast the water can boil. So let me just, I had a friend who didn't believe it, so I am going to actually fill the pan in front of you. I'll fill it a couple inches. I have, they work amazing, All-Clad copper core pans. You can put it on any burner. I'll put it on the middle one, why not? I wanted to show you, and I'm going to show you the paired ones in a second. So this has a really cool power boost setting. You turn the dial, push in and turn the dial all the way to this boil thing, and it goes on like a power boost. Whoops, I gotta leave it over there for just a second. I'm learning still. Power boost setting, which will boil that water, and I'm not kidding, it might be like 35 seconds. So I think it's about a minute, to be honest. And so let me go ahead and show you about the, while that's happening, I'm going to try and set up a little view of how the zones pair, which was really important to me because I liked cooking on like a French plate, kind of style where you have many different pots, some of them, you know, pushing up against, some of them running on the side, which I'm able to do with this, or one long griddle, which you can also do. I also have a Le Creuset griddle grill that goes on there, which I really love too. You can actually already hear the pot, the water boiling. These pans are really good because they heat all the way up the side of it. And I really appreciated the saleswoman at Williams-Sonoma who convinced me to buy them because they were expensive, but I really love them. And I do not get that rattle that some people talk about with induction. It's more like I hear like a buzz, almost like you hear when a Tesla drives by or something like that. So that water is pretty much boiling, but you saw it was about 1.5 inches of water there. Okay, let me set up the pairing so I can show you how that works. Okay, to pair the zones, pretty easy. You do need 2 hands, so that might not work for some people. Like I cannot to videotape while I do it. You push in and you turn all the way around to the A setting, which I'll show you there, and you'll get this little blinking infinity light, which means they are paired. And once that is done, you can control the whole entire surface over here with this one burner. So you can see that this means that they're paired. And right now I don't have a pot on there, so that's one thing about induction. It wants that pot on there pretty quick. I think you have like 25 seconds or something, just because it's wasteful. So induction is not wasteful. So let me show you what can fit on that zone, on that paired zone, and you turn it off pretty easily too. So the other side also has a paired zone, so I fit my Le Creuset grill on it. You can also fit several pans across the surface, like I said, laying a little bit outside it over here or all on it. It does claim that there's this like a little tiny spot in the middle, probably there. Whoops, that doesn't get any heat, but I cooked chicken on this for lunch one day because I've been trying everything. The cast iron's amazing on this whole cooker with the frying pans and everything too, as well as the Le Creuset. But this did not have any, because probably the way heat distributes through cast iron, did not have a middle thing. And I did buy the griddle that goes on top of the zones. It fits for pancakes and stuff, but it hasn't arrived yet. It's actually on back order. I did notice that, really quick, that I had the fisheye lens on the whole time so you could see the broad perspective. So everything looked a little askew. So I wanted to put on here, give you a sense of what the pans really look like on the surface without that skewed fisheye lens. So there's the littlest All-Clad pan, and you can see I could fit all 3 of these on that paired zone if I would like to do that. Probably get them all in there, that's fine. So you could fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pans on the stove if you wanted to. And then let me just give a better perspective of it, a more realistic perspective. Okay, thanks. All right, now if you come from gas stove, 2 things I don't miss. One is the click, 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 clicking of trying to get the frickin' burner on. And it's just actually quite stressful. My daughters hate it. They hate hearing it. And the cleaning, which I had a very old stove before this. So one of the best things about it is you can just quickly wipe. And I don't have any paper towels or really good microfiber towels right now, which I will buy, so I'm not wasting paper towels, but it is an unbelievable cleaning experience. I had this thing so gross the other day, and because I really wanted to test it, and it is beautiful. So no clicking, very easy to clean. Overall, super happy with this Fisher Paykel 36 induction stove. Any questions, I'm happy to answer. I was really bummed that there wasn't enough information on it, so I'm happy to help.